Okay, I think. Hello, Gbemi. All right. So quickly,
Yes, sir.
please hold on. So, prerequisite and requirement for this course. I know that cybersecurity is technically based. And can you still see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen, sir.
All right. Let me widen it. So, the prerequisites, as Bimi has already said in the intro video she made, we'll be needing basic, particularly for this course, basic understanding of computer and its components, such as hardware and software. You know, and I hope that you know the meaning of hardware and software. The basic
Yes, sir.
knowledge of networking, such as IP address, the way switches work, the way router works, you know, internet IP address, and you know, the cloud-based IP address. When I mean the cloud, uh, the public IP address and private one are the local one. So you are just basic. You don't have to know deep networking. And to practice along with me, you need a 64-bit laptop or desktop.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Uh-huh.
I'm
Also,
actually using
all
I'm
right,
using HP 820. Yeah.
all right,
Let me check the configuration.
all right. For the sake of recording, just let me continue so that you know
Yes, sir.
you won't be
Yes, sir.
interluding with the class. Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
You also need virtualization software such as VirtualBox or VMware. And the last is Kali Linux. Kali Linux, as we get to know, is an operating system by which hacker use and security researcher. These are the operating system that this this particular one is the major one that malicious hacker and white hat hacker use. So the lesson, these are first class, and the lesson one objective is the objective of this session is to have the understanding of cybersecurity and to learning the process cyber criminal follow to commit cyber crime. There is a procedure to which an hacker, or in this case a cyber, you know a white attacker, also known as ethical hacker, used to achieve their goals. There is a process by which we follow, and also the knowledge of malware and how to secure yourself. And last one is understanding operating system. So we are going to dive into the course now, into the class fully now. To do that, to just whet your appetite for this course, we will be cracking a password, right?
Yes, sir.
Cracking password using John the Ripper. John the Ripper is a password cracking tool that is pre-installed on Kali Linux. I said earlier that Kali Linux is an operating system
Yes, sir.
that is pre-installed with diverse tools hacker use and cybersecurity
Yes,
researcher.
sir.
So as a teacher, we are going to be using this tool to crack a user password. So let me quickly go into that. I have this is my Kali. Can you still see my screen?
Yes, sir.
All right. Let me log in. So this Kali Linux is an operating system on its own, like Windows. This is another operating system, but this one is tailored for security purpose and hacking purpose. Right? So you may not fully understand the command I'm putting now. Just follow along. So let me quickly bring up John the Ripper. Man, Okay, so this is the manual or the tool I said earlier. John, which is the short form for John the Ripper, is a tool to find weak password of your users. You know, so these are just the intro to all the tools, the functionality of the tool. So to get into practicality of it, on this system, I have a user. If you are familiar with user on Windows operating system, you know you can create as many user you like. Uh,
Yes, sir.
yes, you can have a administrator user, what is it called, a guest user, and like that, up to the amount of user you want. On this operating system also, you can also do the same. To currently list the user that I have here, I will use a command, who am I? Of course, I'm running as an administrator here. You know, you can see it's saying root, but if I switch out of that and type the same command again, you can see it's Kali. This is another user now. This is root. Root is synonymous. Is my screen, is it clear, or you want me to zoom in?
You can, yeah, zoom it, sir.
All right. How about now?
Yes, sir.
All right. So let me type the command again. Who am I? So this is Kali. So to get into the tools, I will quickly list the user that are on this system at this point. Oh, sorry, I have to use. I need a root privilege to list that command. Let me go back to root. So as you can see, this is Kali, this is user Kali, and this is the password that is stored. This is my password, but it's encrypted. You know, there's an
Yes, sir.
aspect of cybersecurity called encryption. Encryption simply means is an algorithm, right? That stand in the middle. For example, when you create a password, a user on Facebook, for example, you know, you type in a plain password. Maybe your password is 12345. Use that one as a password. There's an algorithm that is standing in between that receive the password you test and encrypt it. It change it to something that is non-readable to human being, like this thing you are seeing here. This thing I just highlighted now. This is what they call
Yes, sir.
encryption. So it's converted to this what is it called, non-readable format, and it is being stored on this system. So you can see I only have a user Kali. The user I showed you the other time. This is the user and this is the password. So I will quickly create another user by using add user command. I will add Bob to the you know, for the sake of this video, I'll be using a weak password, which is 12345. So full name, I can just type. I can even, you know, bypass this. So let me list the user again. So as you can see, we have Kali and the new user I just created, which is Bob. So we are going to be cracking this password. You know, this password now is encrypted.
Yes, sir.
Even though an hacker gets, even though an hacker, you know, get to the database where this encrypted password is being stored, they cannot use this thing directly. Even though this is our username and this is our encrypted password, it still cannot use that. It has to be converted to the plain text. So that is what we are going to be using John the Ripper to do at this point. So John, uh, so I've John the Ripper is running. But while that is running, let me quickly go back to my main OS, which is this Windows operating system. So the goal of showing you that is that these days we know that our password, every service we use online today, it demand that we input password. That is basic, right? So password has been a major way of authenticating to any service, from day one. So the purpose of showing you that is to let you know that one of the easier way by which hacker can get into any account or breach any account is through the weak password rather, that you use. And you even make the matter worse when you use the same password, which is called password credential stuffing. When you the same password on Google, for example, on Facebook, the same password you use on Facebook, you still replicate the same password on other service you are using. So you can see my screen here. I'm searching on Google password strength checker. What this Have you heard about this before?
No, sir.
All right, let me quickly go there and show you what it's meant for. So you can see is the purpose of this service is to let you know how secure your password is. How secure is your password? So you can see I'm just going to type 12345 as a password. You can see 12344 is saying that very weak. Can you
Yes,
see
sir.
it? Time
Yeah, I
to
can see
crack
it.
your password. It says 0 seconds. If an hacker should get hold of this password now, it can only take them 0 seconds. Without John the Ripper that I show you,
Oh,
you can see he's still working. He's still trying to crack the password. So it can only take them 0 seconds to crack the password, right? So let me type another one, maybe banana. You can see very weak still. It can take them 0.01 seconds for any hacker to crack such password. And as we proceed further in the course, we are going to learn how to create a strong password. Right, I'm just using this as a teaser to whet our appetite to the course. So let me go back. You can see this is the password 12345, and this is Bob. Can you see
yes,
it?
sir. Yes, I can
So
see it, sir.
yeah, 123 4. John the Ripper has been able to crack the password and let us know you know the plain text. This is the plain text of the password, the one I showed earlier, which was this is the what is it called, encrypted format of the password. As I said, even though an hacker get hold of this, you still cannot use it to log in
Eh,
directly to any service you are using. You still have to convert it to plain text, which is this 12345. So let me go back to the course. So we are going to be introduction to cybersecurity. Right? What is cybersecurity? Cybersecurity is a combination of two words, which are cyber and security. Right? Cyber simply means computer. I'm just breaking this down. I don't want to use the traditional definition of what it means, but uh, so that even the market person can understand what cyber simply means. Cyber simply means computer, such as your phone, right? Your laptop, your Wi-Fi device, and so on. Anything that is technologically inclined, any devices that is built on technology. That is what cyber mean. And we know IoT devices such as smart TV, all those IoT as IP cameras. Those are simple definition of cyber. And security mean the act of protecting. Right. So joining these two words together, we have cybersecurity is the protection of internet connected systems, including hardware, software, and data from cyber attacks. This it can also be defined as security control, which are behavioral or technical that we apply to system to protect the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of the data. These three words you have to, it's so important. Those are the of course there are more than these, but these are the three basic things that we protect ourselves from when we consider cybersecurity, which are confidentiality, integrity, and availability of data. So next slide. three main activities to be protected from, as I said earlier, which is unauthorized modification, which is integrity, is the modification of data by unauthorized person, e.g., cyber criminal, that could lead to breach in data integrity. For example, now, just imagine that you have a laptop, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. So on your laptop, you've maybe you've created a power, a slide that you are to present. Let me assume that you are working, right? You've created a slide that you are to present to your organization, right? And maybe an what is it called, a malicious user, in this case hacker. Permit me to be using the word hacker, because hacker, the reason why I don't want to be using hacker is because there is a good hacker and there are bad hackers. So
Yes,
just
sir.
permit me to be using the word hacker. In this case, when I mean hacker, malicious user, get hold of your laptop in one way or the other, and it now change this. For example, now there is a little difference between for example, RAT. That is rat, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. It now change the letter A to he. What will that be? It will become
Yes.
sorry. Uh, I'm looking for a clearer example to bring this to light. What this thing actually means is that when a malicious user get hold of your system and it change a letter that could give a entirely meaning to what you intend, and in this case it can bring a lot of danger to any business out there, to any individual. For example, now just imagine that you are not aware that somebody has changed one or two letters in your document, and as you are presenting to your organization, and you just get to where that file is, and you are not aware that such mistake is present.
Yes,
So
sir.
unauthorized modification of data, which is integrity. In the world of cybersecurity, is known as integrity, right? Two, unauthorized deletion, which is availability. It is the deletion of critical data that could lead to loss in revenue, system downtime, etc. There was a time, I think 2 months ago or last year, I could not remember, when Facebook, was unavailable for 24 hours. In some, I think in some part of the world, I think in Europe, right? What actually caused that? That means is as a result of somebody has delete the service that people are actually demanding. When you pick up your phone now and you type facebook.com, you're actually asking for a service, right? If that service is not present, you will get 404 error,
Yes, sir.
right? Which will tell you that that thing you are asking for is not present. So it's the deletion of critical data that could lead to loss in revenue. Just imagine that you have a website, what is it called? A e-commerce website that people come to buy stuff, and and maybe an hacker has compromised your server, and he has deleted the for example, maybe you list iPhone on your website, whereas you have the iPhone in your stock, but somebody has compromised your server and he has deleted the page whereby you enlisted that iPhone product. So when people are asking for it, what they will be getting is 404 error, right? And due to that, it will be leading to loss in revenue, because people will be thinking that you don't have that product, whereas somebody has delete that
Yes.
data. So the third one is unauthorized access, which is confidentiality, right? Everybody wants to prove confidentiality is synonymous to privacy. We all have a circle to protect. We all have our own privacy, right? And in which
Yes.
we protect an intruder from prying into. So when data or system is accessed by unauthorized person, all these three words are so important in the world of cybersecurity. In fact, those are the three major things we protect ourselves from. Whenever any company is thinking of cybersecurity, they are thinking of, how can I make this data available to my customer? How can I make sure that this service is only limited, is not, is only limited to the people that have been authorized to have access to that data? And how can I make sure that this product, this service is not being is not being changed, right? So Let me proceed. Cybersecurity terms and definition. You will be hearing the word threats. What I'm trying to define here is the italicized word. For example, here, these threats, vulnerability, assets. Those are the words I'm trying to define here. So a threat will try to exploit vulnerability in your security to impact assets. Let me break that down. A threat will try to exploit. Exploit, if you check dictionary, exploit means, in terms of verb, it means to use. Exploit means to use. So a threat could be, as I've said, a malicious hacker. A threat could be a tornado, a natural disaster that is beyond your control. A threat, anything that tend to impact, danger, that tend to impact, some malicious impact to something that we value. That's what they call a threat. So a threat will try to exploit vulnerability, and for that threat to work, there must be a vulnerability. A vulnerability, as you see here, is a bug or loopholes in computer system. A vulnerability is a bug or loopholes in computer system. So we also have assets. Assets are the things that we value, right? For example, irreplaceable file on your computer, account information. We all value all those things. Your account number, all those things. That is privacy to us. Account information, which is Facebook, your Facebook username and password, primary email. We have Bitcoin wallet. If you are into Bitcoin, you don't just want to leave that careless to people to get access to it rather. So we have password information. Those are what we call assets. Now, exploits. As I defined earlier, we have the verb definition of exploit means to use. And in this case, we have a noun definition of it, which is exploit. Exploit is a programming code that hacker use to exploit vulnerabilities. You can see the word exploit here means to use, which is the verb definition of exploit. The noun definition of exploit is a programming code that hacker use to exploit vulnerabilities. Risk. Risk is the likelihood of threats exploiting vulnerabilities in the security control, and the consequence of that is known as risk. For example, now when we have a vulnerability that we are unaware of, a loophole that we are unaware of, and a threat, a malicious, what is it called, a threat impactor. In this case, somebody that wants to utilize that vulnerability for his own personal gain, come upon that vulnerability and he exploits that vulnerability. The outcome of it, some cases, it may be a loss of life. That's what they call risk. The outcome of it may become, to business, downtime. They may lose revenue at that particular point in time when their server or their server or anything is down. So we have a threat actor. A threat actor is the person or natural disaster initiating the threat. You can see a threat itself is docile in some way, but it has to be initiated by human or something, which is a threat actor. Is the person or natural disaster initiating the threat. If it is a person, we call them cyber criminal. Threat actor could also be initiated by non-human. Example is fire outbreak or tornado. In this particular world we live in, we don't have much of that. So we can see here cyber attacks are taking place all the time. So we are going to be seeing what is it called? Live current cyber attack that is occurring at the moment. All right, I think it's my network. Otherwise, okay. No, this is a resource from checkpoints. Checkpoint is a security organization that I think is based in US. So you can see live cyber threat map. Can you still see my screen?
Yes, sir.
All right. So you can see the major attacks, top targeted countries, highest rate of attacks per organization in this last day. We have, these are the top targeted countries at the moment: Mongolia, Nepal, Angola, Georgia, and Taiwan. Top targeted industry: education, government, communications. Malware, top malware types. We have hardware, backdoor, and botnet, right? So let's look at we have 11,570 11,573. You can see is randomizing. The value is not fixed like that. So you can see is in millions. The current attack that is currently going on. And you can see the type of malware we have. We have malware, we have phishing. Yellow indicates exploits. You can see it here. It's coming from Indian. We have phishing. Phishing is in the purple. That one is not displaying currently. We have malware. Malware is red. You can see most of it are coming from India, and we can see from here. Those are the types of malware that that is being used. So you can check this later by on your own. So let me proceed. So
That's okay.
So we have types of cyber attacks, right? As we saw earlier, we saw malware, we saw phishing, and types of cyber attacks. We have malware. Malware is an all-encompassing term. All-encompassing mean is not just it's not just a standalone term. In other words, they are is the universal name we give to anything that is malicious, right? It is popular. It's called malware. It's an all-encompassing term for a variety of cyber attacks, including trojans, viruses, and worms. Malware is simply defined as code with malicious intent that typically steals. If you are aware, if you know a little bit about program, all these things I've been saying is somebody code it. They use coding language such as C++, Java, Python. So it's a code. So we have phishing. Phishing is often posing as a request for data from a trusted third party. Phishing attacks are sent via email and ask user to click on a link and enter their personal data. Phishing is a subset of social engineering. I don't know if you have heard about the term before. It's a subset. It's a subset of social engineering whereby somebody will call or send you. In this case, it is phishing. Actually, it is via email as it is been divided. They will send you email that they are calling. The email is from the service you are aware of, maybe from Facebook. They won't send you a random email. For example, if I'm not using Facebook, and if somebody just send me a Facebook an email that's coming from Facebook, I know that as cyber criminal, they will have done their own due diligence, their own research. They can't just send random email to you. So it must be from a trusted third party, right? And they are demanding for some information like password, your Bitcoin wallet account, all those stuff. So we have password attacks. Password attack is an attempt to obtain or decrypt user password for illegal use, like the one I did earlier, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yeah. That is a type of cyber attack too. As I decrypted the password, which was let me log in here again. So you can see here, as I said earlier, with the encrypted formats, there is no way I can log in. Just imagine that you are using this username Bob and this password on Facebook. Maybe due to some social engineer, I've been able to deduce your username, which is Bob. But without the password, I will still have access to your, to your page on Facebook, right?
Yes,
to your account rather on Facebook. So just imagine that I'm getting hold upon this. This synonymous is an encrypted what's it called, format for this plain text 1234. With this, I won't be able to log in. Of course, there are ways. They call it pass the hash attack. We won't be studying that in this course because it's much advanced than this. So but with this, there's no way an hacker can log in into your account. It has to be decrypted into this 1234. So with these two accounts now, with these two username and password, I can take complete control of your accounts. So that is password attacks. You know, we have ransomware. You might have been hearing about that. Is a form of malware taking control of your computer in some way. Then behind the scene, it encrypts all your personal files with the decryption key only the hacker knows. Then when it is done, you get message such as this. Let me open this quickly. So while that is opening, okay. Can you see it?
Yes, sir.
This, when an what is it called, an hacker has compromised your system or your computer with ransomware, these types of message you will get. They will say, what happened to my computer? Can I recover my files? You know, you can see it's even time based. So they demand ransomware in Bitcoin, right? They will say send so amount of Bitcoin to this address. The reason why they are using Bitcoin is, we are going to get to that too, because they know that it's untrailable. They can't trail it. That is that is why hackers and malicious users are actually hiding these days into, they call it anonymity. We are going to get there. So this type of message they get when what is it called, when a ransomware has taken over your computer or your system in some way, it will encrypt all your files. You won't be able to open any files because you have allowed ransomware to take control of your device in some way. So we are going to proceed now. So we have it should be, I made a mistake here, advertisements. Maladvertisement is an online advertisement that is infected with a virus malware. You know, all those pop-ups. You know, I don't know if you get it. Many a times I'm tired of it. You know, they will just pop up. Those
Like
are
ads.
maladvertisement. Yes, ad, yeah. Yes. Most of it sometimes contain virus, which by you clicking on it, you will infect your system with virus. So we are going to be proceeding now to I said the procedure by which an hacker used to achieve their goal. There's a procedure, as with every other thing in life. There is a step. Procedure means step by steps, guideline by which we follow to achieve some results, right? So the cyber keychain is essentially a cybersecurity model created by Lock. I won't open this guy account, but you can search it on your own. I will send this, this what is it called? I will share it to the Discord group. The
Oh, thank you,
cyber
sir.
keychain is essentially a cybersecurity model created by this guy, Lockheed Martin, that traces the stages of cyber attack, identifies vulnerabilities, and helps security teams to stop the attacks at every stage of chain. The cyber keychain consists of 7 distinct steps. We have reconnaissance. The reason why I don't want to, because it takes more space, I will go back to the web now to look at the definition of what that means. You can see it here. Can you still see my screen?
Yes, sir. I can see your screen, sir.
All right. Please hold on. Okay, let me go back. So, reconnaissance, which is the observation stage, is where an attacker typically assess the situation from the outside in order to identify both targets and tactics for the attack. For example, now, let me put myself in the shoe of an hacker, right? A malicious user. So I'm trying to hack your Facebook account, right? So I
Yes.
know that I know the service which I'm to attack, which is Facebook. They take observation as it is being divided. Say it's an observation stage. I know that the service I'm looking after is facebook.com. So I note that down. I will begin to build on that, and I will begin to, to look for the email, the probability email you'll be using on that account. He said the observation stage attackers typically access the situation from the outside in, not inside in, because I don't know much about you. So they typically gather the information online, and there are tools that we use to do this, right? Which is called passive reconnaissance. I'll be silently gathering the information that you won't be aware. So that is the phase of reconnaissance. Is synonymous to enumeration or information gathering stage. We also have intrusion. Intrusion is, oh no, sorry, please, let me check. It should be weaponization. Sorry, I think they break it down. Okay, let me check another. Let me use this. With divine reconnaissance. The second one phase is during the which is weaponization. During the weaponization phase, the attacker creates an attack vector, such as remote access malware, ransomware, virus, or worm, that can exploit a known vulnerability. And we've discussed we've defined what the meaning of all the terms, what they mean, right? So it is in this stage. For example, if I know that you use a laptop, or you have a laptop, and it is true you are most likely to be using your laptop to access Facebook, right? There's I can from there create a Trojan. A Trojan, as its simple definition of Trojan. Trojan, as we know, is a malware, right? That pretend to be something that it does not do. For example, you may see a picture that is saying, that is presenting himself as a PDF, what is it called? A book in PDF, whereas silently what that PDF contains a malicious what is it called, executable. So as it is being defined, it says such as remote access malware, ransomware, virus, or worm that can exploit a known vulnerability. That is the phase of weaponization. And third one is delivery. After we've gathered information about our target, we have weaponized a malware. For example, let me be using ransomware in this case. We have weaponized a ransomware. So how are we going to deliver this malware into our target system? That's what they call delivery, a delivery stage. So many times, let me read it. He said in the delivery step, the intruder launches the attack. The specific step taken will depend on the type of attack they intended to carry out. For example, the attacker may send email attachment or a malicious link to spoil user activity to advance the plan. One of the as we defined earlier, phishing, particularly, those are the main way now that hackers are using to get access into any company system, even though be it company or individual. One of the mode of delivering our weapon, our malware is phishing, right? And exploitation, which is phase 4. In the exploitation phase, the malicious code is executed within the victim system. So these words, as we define earlier, exploitation means to use. So it will use the vulnerability that is currently present in that target system. So installation, immediately following the exploitation phase, the malware or other attack vector will be installed on the victim system. This is a turning point in the attack life cycle, as the threat actor has entered the system and can now assume control. Right now, we are inside the company computer connected network. We are inside we have achieved we are now inside the kingdom, so to say. Yes, inside the targeted company system. We are now inside their system. We can now install a malware that we intend to deliver, which is in this case ransomware. So after that, there's a command and control. Command and control simply means a cloud. What's it called? Do you know? You are familiar. Are you familiar with cloud? The simple definition of cloud. Are you? Hello.
No, sir.
All right.
Yes,
So
I'm with you,
define.
sir.
Yeah, cloud. For example of cloud, we have Google. What is it called? We have AWS, Amazon Web Service. We have what is it called? A lot of service these days, but the giant one are AWS. We have Azure, Microsoft Azure. We have what is it called? Google. Google also have their own cloud. It simply means you can see my system. I have a physical computer here that I'm using. It's the same thing also. It's a collection of a servers that is under a control. For example, in this case, Google. And on that server, you can host many service. They host many service on it. It could be a web service. It could be even though you want to rent a whole infrastructure. I don't want to go deep into so that I won't digress from the main focus here. So that is simply the definition of server. Cloud, right? It's just another computer that is under another person control, that is hosted in the internet, which is synonymous to cloud. They call it cloud. So this is where we now host our command and control. In command and control, the attacker is able to use the malware to assume remote control of a device or identity within the target network. In this state, the attacker may also work to move laterally throughout the network, expanding their access and establishing more points of entry for the future. So the last phase actually is actions on objective. There is a motive for which they are doing those things. For
Yes,
example,
sir.
if I'm targeting your Facebook account, my motive is to get your username and password, right? So that I can be able to log into your Facebook account and maybe delete some users. For example, one scenario that I don't know if you heard about deep fake technology is uh, uh, I think it was 2 days ago or so that what is it? Mark Zuckerberg. No, not Mark Zuckerberg. The owner of Tesla. What's his name? This guy, the richest man
Elon
on earth
Musk.
now, Elon Musk.
Elon
Yeah,
Musk.
thank you. Yeah, Elon Musk, thank you. His Twitter account was compromised by an attacker, and they are now using a technology that is known as deepfake to promote a Bitcoin on his page. Right, you can see how many followers he has. They will
Yes, sir.
speak. They are what is it called? An hacker will use a pre-recorded video of Mark Zuckerberg, and they will now be using that to speak that to promote a fake Bitcoin. That if you should send, for example, 1 Bitcoin, you will get 2 Bitcoin back. And it's a scam that
Mm.
has always been working. It still happened some days ago. It has happened many times, and within a day that such broadcast is made, you will see a lot of people falling for such scam. So his
Yeah, yeah,
account is
yeah.
being compromised in some ways. So that is the main goal. If as I've said, if I'm targeting your Facebook account, my main goal is to get hold of your password and your
Username.
username so that I can log in. We have people that are financially motivated, people that are targeting bank. Their main goal is to to siphon the money from that target account. Those are the cyber, what is it called, keychain. So I will go back to this place. So as it is, you can use that online resources. I will also include it for further understanding. So those are the 7 distinct steps an hacker follows to achieve. Of course, most of them think outside the box, but those are the major way actually by which an hacker will follow to achieve what is it called, cyber criminal activities. So from here I would like to, before we move to another, because as I've said, our objective for today will be to learn about cybersecurity, introduction,
Yes, sir.
basic introduction to it, and understanding operating system, right?
Yes, sir.
So I think I need to move faster because of time. Uh, Introduction to operating system. Do you have any understanding of OS?
Mm. No, really, to be
All
honest.
right, all right. Hold on, please. Okay. So an operating system is a software program required to manage and operate a computing device like smartphones, tablets, computers, supercomputers, web servers, cars, network towers, smartwatches, even ATM, automated teller
Yes, sir.
machine. Yes, it need an operating system. Anything that uses an hardware, hardware is a physical computer, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, it must run on an operating system. Hardware itself cannot run by itself. We need an operating system. Anything at all, even though we now live in a world of IoT. You can see a smart fridge, smart TV, anything that actually runs on hardware, it must need an operating system to run, as it is being defined here. An operating system sits in between the computer hardware, also known as firmware, and the application that runs on it. Example of operating system: we have Windows, Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 10, and Windows 11, etc. We have Linux, Android, we have Mac OS, and I'm mostly assured that you are familiar with Windows operating system, the one that is currently running on your laptop now, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Windows, what is that?
Windows 11.
Right, Windows 11. So that is definition of operating system. So let's move faster so that you can be able to do some practical before ending the class. We can see also that security focused OS, in all of these operating systems, we have some operating systems that are tailored, that are customary made. In other words, for example, an operating system that is used in the bank to run ATM now. When you go to withdraw money from ATM, right?
Yes, sir.
Have you used ATM before?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. If you notice so well, mostly the operating system that is being run on most ATM that we have around is Windows. It is made by Windows, right? And it is
Windows.
not this.
Yes, yes, sir.
Yeah, and it is not this Windows 10. It is not. They are tailor made. They are operating systems that are made for a specific purpose. We have operating systems that are made for engineering too. CV engineering. We have operating systems that are made for teachers. Anything. We have tailor made. But the common one that we are mostly familiar with is Windows 10. Those one that runs on computer, like this one that we carry about, our mini computer, our phones. So
Yeah.
in terms of cyber security, now we are looking at security focused OS. Simply means operating system. I just shorten it for the sake of space. Security focused operating systems. As a cyber security professional, as a cyber security enthusiasm, our focus is to use those operating systems that are mainly made for security, right? If our goal is to achieve security, right? And one of such is QBOS, is implemented through isolation and compartmentalization. Isolation simply means segregation, another word for it, which means to isolate, uh, to enclose one one thing from other. Let me just leave it that way. I don't want to go into full detail, but you can find more information about it here when I share the document. We have subgraph OS, it can be found here. We have pure OS, it can be found here, and security enhanced Linux, it can also be found here. In all of these operating systems, this is where I want you to pay attention. In all of these operating systems, security is prioritized over privacy and anonymity, right? I said earlier, the three main focus of cybersecurity is to see CIA triad, which is confidentiality, integrity, and
Integrity and
availability.
availability.
Yes. So those are the three, and when you hear privacy, is synonymous to what? Confidentiality. Anonymity, we are going to get there actually. So in all of these operating systems, security, oh, I can hear you too. So let me confirm also if you can see my screen now. Can you see it? Can you see
Yes,
it?
sir. Yes, sir.
All right. So sorry, I don't know why my laptop just went to sleep by itself the other time. I think that's where I got to, you know, we got the disconnection from. So what I was saying, I didn't know where Olumide, where was the last point you heard me say?
We are talking about operating system.
Oh, operating system. Wow. So I think
The the yeah, they are not this part. Yeah, the security
this one.
focused. No, the security focused.
Okay, okay. So wow. All right.
But I
So
think we have a new guest.
you said?
I think we have a new guest in the class, sir.
No, I intentionally did that so that I connected through my phone to be seeing, whether the screen is displaying. The new guest is still from me. So, security focused OS, as I said, in all of these operating systems, security is prioritized over privacy and anonymity. So, anybody that is much concerned about their online and digital life, they always use this OS, and it's technically inclined. It's not just for keyboard OS. Actually, you have to to have much understanding of how technology works before you can use it. It's not just uh, for layman to use. So anonymity focused OS. Anonymity simply means non-attribution to your action. For example, when you are purchasing something online with your handle name and not your real name, the site can see that you purchased the object on their website, but they cannot trace that to you. With the use of Bitcoin these days, it has helped foster anonymity. So let me give an example. For example, now, Bitcoin these days, one of the benefits of Bitcoin is that it hide, what is it called? It is untrailable. They cannot trail it back to it. It is built based on anonymity. Actually, just consider yourself that you are purchasing a new laptop with Bitcoin, right? The site you are purchasing the laptop from can only see that you are purchasing the laptop, but they can't, trace that the product you are buying from their site to your real location. They can't trace it to your real name. If you are using for my own handle name, one of my handle name, Seek Discomfort. Actually, I'm using that to purchase that laptop. They can see, but that's not my real name. They didn't know anything about me. They can only see, they can only know to the limited knowledge I uh sorry, let me quickly accept. I think please can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you.
All right, so let me continue. So that is anonymity. So one of the operating system that is widely used is TailOS. And this one is lightweight, right? It can be used on, it can be easily installed on flash drive with at least a space of 2 gig RAM. It can be found there. If you have further interest, we have Wonis. It can also be found there. TailOS is, as I said, is lightweight. It doesn't consume much space like that. So, what are the drive or motivation for using all this? So we are saying that in all of this operating system, anonymity is prioritized over privacy and security. These are the favorites of cyber criminal because it helps conceal their tracks and their malicious activities online. Actually, those are the reason why cyber criminal cannot be easily discovered. The reason why they remain hidden. I won't be talking about dark net, or as we have clear net like Google, there are dark net too, right? We have dark nets. And dark net, that is where the real is. Just consider it as a dark marketplace where a lot of malicious evil activities, where drugs are being sold, human being parts, guns, everything that is, I don't want to delve into that. So, uh, most of the, what is it called? We have a web browser that is tailored. For example, I'm using Chrome. This is Chrome web browser. I can't use it to access such darknets. There is a browser that is tailored to do that, which is, if you had heard about Tor browser. So those are the goals of anonymity. I won't be dwelling much on that. I just, a basic knowledge. I think that is, so penetration testing operating systems. We also have an operating system that is tailored, that is customary made for penetration testing. Penetration testing, also known as ethical hacking, is the process of finding vulnerabilities in an organization connected networks. And this is done by obtaining the rights. The right here is also, you can say, permission from the company. That is why it's called ethical. We look at cyber keychain the other time. Cyber keychain, the same procedure, penetration tester can also apply the same procedure, while cyber criminal also follow the same procedure. But what makes it to be different is that their end goal. Why penetration tester are looking for a vulnerability, and after finding the vulnerability, they tender it to the organization and they get paid for it, right? But cyber criminal, when they find the vulnerability or they exploit it for their own benefit use. That's where the difference is. They are both. That is where you might have heard about white hat hacker and black hat attacker. A black hat hacker. They are both doing the same job, but their motives are different. Right? So it is also known as penetration testing. It's a field under cybersecurity, actually. So when the right to
Huh?
hack, hello?
I did now. My own session, they haven't started. But I
All right,
joined a different one.
all right. When
No,
the
you
right
now
to
you
hack,
can join a different one. Yeah. No, blanket. See, three blankets.
Olumide,
Ah,
please mute yourself, please. You can
oh,
mute when you have any question or you have anything to say. But right now, mute. You are interfering with the session. Thank you. So, uh, um, so the operating system that both ethical hacker and malicious hacker use to achieve their goals are, we have Kali Linux, and I have showed us Kali Linux the other time. Let me quickly show it again. This is Kali Linux. Let me log in. So this is command line interface of it, but this is what is it called? First of all, it's not user friendly like what is it called? Your Windows operating system. No, this is tailored made. Everything that is on it is basically tools. I told you earlier that the first phase of cyber keychain is reconnaissance, which is information gathering. You can see it here. We have information gathering, and these are the tools we use to gather information about the target. We want to find vulnerabilities in their companies, or these are the tools. We have vulnerability analysis tools. We will be looking at mmap in subsequent session, in subsequent class. A basic use of mmap. We also have web analysis, web application analysis. We also have, these are the most widely used prosy. It is called Bob Suits. So Bob Suit, we'll be looking at it when we are, when we come to the session of web application and security. We have database, we have password attacks. The John that I used the other time, this is it. We have wireless attacks. If I want to attack Wi-Fi, these are the tools I use to, that is basically tailored for that. For Bluetooth, these are Bluetooth. We have reverse engineering, exploitation tools. So these are the what is it called? The graphical or summary of what the Calino is all about. It comprises of tools, not like the traditional OS that traditional, like example Windows or what is it called, MacOS. These are operating system that is tailored for cybersecurity researcher. Let me go back. So, and we also have Parrot. but the most commonly used is Kali Linux. They both have the same functionality, but this one Kali Linux is much advanced. So we also have mobile OS with security and privacy. I know that many of us are familiar with Android, right? Android is an operating system. So if you don't know today, if you don't know today, when you are hearing Android, we do tend to think that is the phone itself. No, Android is the name of an what is it called, of an operating system, and we also have iOS, which is an operating system used on iPhone and iPad gadgets. So you can find more information about it here. We said iOS is a closed, restricted system. This is good for security, and Android is not. Android is open. What is it called? Is open source. In other words, it's free. But on what is it called? Uh, or what's this name now? On Apple products, for example, iPhone, iPad, those are restricted. They are actually good for security because they are enclosed, right? So that I think that is why most people venture into investing into any Apple product. So let me proceed. Right now, we'll be talking about patching, importance of patching. I know most of us will be will be familiar with that, but I want to spend more time because I want us we like to show us some practicality of patching here. It is important to update all software application, firmware and software. All software application, for example, this if you are running this team, Microsoft Team is an example of software application. Is either you are running it on your phone or on your system, you must update it, right? We also have firmware like a BIOS. If you boot your system, if you press F12, I don't know the key to get into your firmware. If you on my own system, it is F12. If you boot into it, you will see something like BIOS. I think basic input output system or something like that. So you must update it. And software, for example, this Windows operating system I'm talking about is a software. Anything that you download from internet at all must be updated. So an update or patch is simply a fix to a bug, right? So an update or patch is simply a fix to a bug. We discuss a bug here is a loophole, a vulnerability. When we have discovered a vulnerability, for example, if a burglar come, they barging through the window of your house, right? And maybe you are not at home, they catch away your goods, right? And later you go to discover that this is where they came in from. Will you leave that place like that? No, you won't. You will actually want to remediate it. You will want to fix it. That is simply what patching means, and what patching does. To remediate, to fix a bug. So updating and patching software is the most important step to remain safe online. Let me repeat that. Updating, that is, as I said, is the most important step to remain safe online. So we'll be looking quickly at things to update. For example, directly interface with the internet, browser. I'm using Chrome here, right? So it's an example of browser. Edge, Firefox, etc. Email applications, example, Outlook, Gmail, all those things, we must update them. It is necessary. We have applications that use, play, view any sort of downloaded file. For example, Windows Media Player, VLC, we have image viewer, Excel, Word. All those applications must be updated. We have operating system like OX. It is not. This is operating system that is on Apple products. We have Windows 10, 11, Android. Even your phone, there is an update for it. So all of these these are the basics. Security hygiene we must put in place if you are to stay safe online. So we'll be looking at behavioral security control against social threats. Before I go into that, let me quickly show you how to. Of course, we must, but let me still show us. You can see now my system is telling me the yellow sign here is indicating that my system has just updated, so it's asking me to reboot. But for the sake of this course, I won't. So let me show us how to update our system. You can see when you click the tab here, settings, as I have done, you come to update and security, right? Windows update. You can see Windows update here. So of course, this it is being done automatically. So we don't have to, but many at times, many of us resist it because we may be thinking that it consumes data also, and which is necessary for us to do. You can see this is where to update the system, but I won't. It just updated my own version, but if I restart now, I will, but I won't. It's after the course. So this is how you get to update. You can view your update history. If after updating your system is having some issue, this is where you will view it and you know uh, and try to uninstall updates. If you discover that after you update or updated to that latest version, you are now having some issue with your computer, you can uninstall it from here. But basically, this is where we update the system. So let me go back. Uh, so we'll be looking at behavioral security control against social threats. For example, now, what do I mean by behavioral? Behavioral, of course, the two why we use tools to secure ourselves online, there are some attitude, we must also put in place. There are some behavioral control we must implement, and those are the things I'll be looking at briefly. Number one is, if you didn't request it, don't click on it, e.g. Gmail, e.g. email, SMS, and pop-up. Many pop-up will just pop up as you are browsing the internet, and before you know, you click on it, and you didn't know that as you are clicking on it, you are clicking on virus. Those are the way most of us get infected with viruses, right? For example, email. Most of the time, in Nigeria now, they will send you an SMS that you have won so, 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 and so. Click this thing and to claim it. He didn't request it. He just randomly come to your message inbox. If you didn't request it, do not click on it. It's a sign, it's a red flag that it is malicious, right? Number two, never download and run any file you don't 100% trust, e.g. email sent via a link. Those are the basic way of anybody getting compromised, which is also known as phishing. We, by the grace of God, will be looking at it in a subsequent class. But right now, never download and run any file you don't 100% trust, even though it claims that it is from original source. Don't If you are suspicious about it, do not download it. We also have never entered sensitive information after following a link or pop-up. Maybe you receive an email from your bank, from sterlingbank.com, that we notice that some malicious activities on your what's it called, on your account, and please click this link to verify if it is you. If you check the example I just gave you now, nobody will want to refuse such email, because we're talking about money here, right? And when somebody claim from the bank and sending emails that we notice an malicious activity, your mind is at where your money is, right? I would say wherever your treasure is, that's where your mind is, because it's talking about money here. You will quickly, they've intrigued in you, the sensitivity to want to respond to such message. So never enter sensitive information. Of course, banks may send you, even these days, most of the security caution that are put in place, that banks should never send any link, even whether it is bank or any organization, they should never send, link through email. So let me go back. Validate the link, to check the link for its integrity and to know if it is not being manipulated. Use this site, right? Let me click on it, and while that is loading, let me quickly search to test the validity of this website. Mm, what I'm trying to do is to get one of the known website that is malicious. I just want to use that to confirm whether this URL void.com, because this is the site. Whenever you are suspicious about any link you receive, if it has been compromised, if it is a site that is a malicious site that is already known, it will tell you. But I'm looking for a site now. So, for example, let me get a site from here. These are compromised sites, right? Let me check this. Let me copy it and go back to. So let me scan the website and see what this is going to give us. Wow, this thing is getting lengthy. Okay, when the network is slow. Please, can you still hear me? Oh, no, 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 no. That site is let me use another site. But the essence, not to waste time, if you have any link that you are suspicious of, use this site. I will share the document with us. It is there. You can use that site to confirm if that site is original, And the fifth one, we can also behavioral security control we can put in place is validate with the sender. If somebody sent, if your friends, if that bank, for example, the bank I was using before sent the message, the email you receive is claiming that they are from your bank. There's customer service number you can call. You can call them to validate whether, you know, such is true or not. But this one, I'd like us to, you can also use this link to check any site you are confused about, you are not fully trust. So sixth one is validate the attachment to check any files or links one against no malicious one. Click here. You see, virus total is, you must not forget this. You can forget, all of them are so important, but this one you must not forget. What it does is, if you have any documents, maybe in the next class I will give us a basic of how this works, but for the sake of time, let me quickly. What it does, you can see it has an option for file. If you have a file that you just download that you didn't trust, you can upload it here. It will tell you, right? If you have a URL, I don't have any file that is, all my files here are clean, but for the sake of next class, I will have done that, created a malicious site or file. So URL, if you have a URL, you can also use this for URL too, right? Let me check this one here. It will scan it. As you can see, it is scanning it. Oh no, I forgot to remove this. It's not part of it. So why that is being done, make sure that these two you keep it underneath, or you it is always, and it is an handy tool that you must always refer to whenever you don't fully trust any what's it called, any file you downloaded, be it executable or whatsoever, PDF, just upload it here. And caveat I must place on that: if it is confidential file, do not upload it here. Whatever you are sharing with this site, know that it is being shared. You can see here, security vendor, all of these things are antivirus, right? you know you will see all of these things, they are antivirus. Any file that is confidential to you, maybe you are working in a security company and you are doing a research and you don't want to disclose such file at the moment, do not upload it to this site, because they will be sharing it with all of these organizations. All of these are organization, that they will be sharing it with. And once it is confidential, and you know it must not be shared with third party. You can see a lot of, so except that file is not confidential. If so, do not upload it to this site. So let me continue. Must end this meeting. All right. Okay, so file extension. What is a file extension? A file extension or a file name extension is the ending of a file that helps identify the type of file in operating systems, such as Microsoft Windows. In Microsoft Windows, the file name extension is a period that is often followed by 3 characters, but may also be, what you can go through this all by yourself. And if you have questions, you can refer to me in the Discord channel. But let me quickly give us a practical aspect of it. When you go to your what's it called, Windows Explorer, this is Windows Explorer, you can see here that this is a bootcamp timetable. it is not showing the file extension, right? You can see all of these things, they are documents. As definition, as it was defined in definition, it said it's an extension that ends with dots. All of these things, except this one that is in something like folder, it is not. Of course, it may contains file in it, but this is a folder. It doesn't have extension. But to display the extension, the way window is configured, it is configured not to display this extension, but to display it when you get to this file, Windows File Explorer, Windows Explorer, come to this view, and to this view, you will go to file name extension, you will tick it. You see, so you can see now it has displayed.pdf. Now I can know that this is a PDF document, right? This is a PDF document. This is an Excel document. All of this, this is a zip document. You can see. So it is now displaying. This is a PNG, which is a picture. This is a port PDF. Is now displaying the extension. If I click the file extension, you will see that it won't. It hide the extension. So why is this good for security, right? The reason why it is good is that for you to know, because for the sake of time, the reason why we are discussing it in a security session like this is to know that there's something called Trojan. We look at it in the malware. We just mention it as part of malware we have. Trojan actually, let me quickly open the web and see to have the definition of it. A Trojan horse or a Trojan is a type of malicious code or software that looks legitimate but can take control of your computer. That is, definition of Trojan. He said it looks legitimate, right? For example, the reason why I'm saying that is you may download a file that, when you download an executable file, because the way Windows is configured is to hide this extension. You may think that is a PDF, whereas it's an executable. When it ends, it ends with .exe. That is an executable file. But when it ends with PDF, it's just a document, right? So you may think that it's just a PDF. It may look legitimate that it's a PDF, whereas it is an executable file. And when you run it, you are actually installing virus on your system. So having this, ticking this will let you know that this is a PDF file. But when I untick it now, you won't know. You may think that is a normal file for you to run. So I think we are going to delve into that in subsequent class. If I still check whether we are going in that in that line, but if not, I will include a resource that will help us to learn more about that. So let me proceed. That is all about file extension, and you can see here types of file extension. I enlist all the file extensions that are safe, those that are dangerous. So whenever you are clicking any files, be watchful for it. So helpful resources. So at this point, I'll be asking, this is a question and answer session. So before that, this is a mental keep up you must have. I know most of the times I've been using those files may be strange, may sound strange to you, but number one mental keep up is that don't try to understand it all at once. Take it step by step. Trust the process and don't bypass the process. The process of learning, right? And it's okay not to understand at first instance. Yes, all that I may be saying may sound gibberish to you. It may sound, as I said, strange and unclear, but it's okay. It all happens to everybody. But with practice, you can gain mastery. So, and the fourth one, which is Google is your friend. Anytime you don't understand, you can see that I deliberately using Google to so as to let you know that nobody knows it all, right? I'm actually using Google. It's not that I might have done this before launching into this section, but I deliberately using Google to search, right? So it's Google is your friend. You don't understand any terms, Google it. So that's it all for today. Any question, please? Any question?
Yes, sir.
So all right. I want to confirm if Baby can hear me.
Yes, I can, sir.
All right, all right, thank you. So at this point, I think we have come to the end of the class. Uh, yes, so I will post the more resources and and this particular document to the group chat to Discord server. So
Yeah, thank you,
thank you,
sir.
thank
Thank you,
you,
sir. Thank you very much, sir.
thank you.